Hey, what's up everybody, it's MetroCape75 here today. Today we're playing Would You Like to Run an Idle Cafe, Part 7. Alright, later that evening. Ichigo, today's dinner was super delicious, I'm stuffed. Ichigo sighs and leans back in her chair. A cheery smile as per usual upon her face. What do you think of my hamburger steak, Naoya? I hope you like it. Hamburger steak, I need to try some of that stuff. Of course I did, it was great, I like always. You're an incredible cook. Ah, shucks. You're so nice to me. Naoya, since when did you become so good at sweet-talking ladies? I must have picked it up from those cheesy romance dramas you like watching. The guys in those always know the right thing to say. They have cute girls falling all over them. And speaking of cute girls, hey Ichigo, there's something I need to ask you. What? Ichigo sits up a little straighter. Straighter, her green eyes wide. You aren't going to propose, are you? What? What if I am? What if I am? What if I was? Would you like that? Huh? Oh goodness. Ichigo holds her hands together at her front. Her face dyed pink. This is all so sudden. I don't know what to say. I've dreamed about this moment for a long time, but now you finally said it. I don't know what to say. Ichigo's voice trails off. Her mouth falls open, but no sound comes out. She looks utterly floored. Did my comeback really perturb her that much? I was only teasing, but maybe Ichigo was more serious in her query than I first thought. Now I feel kind of guilty for playing around with her feelings. I should probably try and change the subject before things get too awkward. Don't get your hopes up. We're too young to get married, and besides, I was only teasing. Oh, right, of course. Ichigo's shoulders slump. I'm not sure whether it's with relief or disappointment. She sighs, then forces a smile. I should have known. I was just teasing too. Sure she was. I have some doubts, but I won't go into them. That will really be cruel. So, can I tell you my news now? Oh, sure, go ahead. Go right ahead. The stage is, like, all yours, mister. Right. Well, I cleared my throat. I was talking to Ku and Miyuki earlier today when we're on our break. They told me they were in a similar position to me, and they were both unable to get into university. They've been studying so they can retake their entrance exams in the winter. Is that so? Ichigo blinks. Does that mean I'm the only one out of the four of us who's actually going to university? I didn't think of it, but I guess it does. Wow, that's a funny feeling. I'm now starting to feel all responsible. Maybe you should start calling me Big Sister. If that would make you happy, Big Sis. I don't think it's very mature or responsible for a big sister or cruelly kick her young brother like you did, though. Ichigo giggles awkwardly. On a second thought, maybe we should drop the big sis thing. It kind of feels awkward. I concur. This is funny, though I'm not that surprised about Ku. She sort of looks spacey, but Miyuki is so prim and proper. She looks like the sort of girl who crammed super seriously for weeks on end. How come she didn't get into university? Did she pass her exams? She never got a chance to take them. She came down with a cold during exam season, and was confirmed to her bed for a whole week. When she finally got better, it was too late. I see. That's a bummer. It must have hit her pretty hard. So are the three of you going to study together? That was the idea. Miyuki suggested we could do it in the library, but it's a bit far away. I thought it'd be easier if we studied here instead. You wouldn't be opposed to that, would you? Of course not. I'd love to see your friends again. It'd make me, like, super happy. When are they supposed to come over? Tomorrow at midday. I know it's a bit sudden, but Miyuki was very insistent. Our university entrance exams are important. We can't afford to waste a single day, she said, or words to that effect. That sure does sound like Miyuki. Ichigo titters. Alright then, I'll have to make some preparations for their visit. I'll clean the living room. It's been a while since I did that. And maybe I can wake up early tomorrow to bake cookies. If you're studying, you've got to have something to sweet eat. That would be a kind gesture, but it's not necessary. You don't have to push yourself. But I want to push myself. Ichigo pouts. Don't forget, Naoya, any friends of yours is a friend of mine. I'm gonna make Ku and Miyuki feel right at home. Tomorrow's gonna be a whole bunch of fun, or my name isn't Suzuki Ichigo. You can bet on that. Now the next day. Thank you very much for inviting us over. It is not most appreciated. It is totally fine. You don't need to be like so formal. Are you sure this is your house? I don't want to intrude. It's no intrusion. I'm happy you're here. Actually, both of you and Ku. Now, don't dally outside. Come in, come in. Why do you come? Ichigo ushers Miyuki and Ku inside. They take their shoes off at the front door, as well mannered and responsible people should. Though Ichigo often forgets this herself. Then Ichigo leads them to the living room. Ichigo and I set up things for our study session this morning, and living room table is loaded with textbook, math, science, and English. The sight of all those textbooks makes me feel kind of faint, if I'm being perfectly honest. I wasn't a bad student in my pre-delinquent days, but I never really liked studying. Who else? Who does? It's so tedious, particularly on a bright sunny days such as this. I'd far rather be outside beneath the blue sky, but that's not possible right now. There's work to be done. It sure is having a nice full house. Let's all get along, okay? I'm sure we'll be the best friends before the day's out. It might be a bit too soon for that, but thank you for your hospitality. Thank you. It's no problem. Now, before we get started, would you like something to drink? What about a snack? It's fine, really. I wouldn't have to put you out. Please don't go out of your way for tomato juice. You want tomato juice? Ku nods. A tall glass. It is hot outside. I am thirsty. Why tomato juice? Tomato juice is that's certainly unusual. I am unusual. Of course you are. I can't argue with that. I frown. Trust Ku to ask for something so unique. That's sort of the beverage you can find on flights, not in the fridge of your average Japanese household. Do we even have tomato juice? I don't think so. We do have fruit juice though. This huge bottle of chilled barley tea. It tastes very refreshing. You sound like a saleswoman. Ku smiles faintly. Alright, barley tea is fine. I didn't think you have tomato juice anyway. Spirits forewarned me. Why did you ask about it then? The spirits can be wrong sometimes. Alright, Ku might be strange, but I still don't buy that she could commune with the spirits. What even are the spirits anyway? It all sounds very vague and unscientifically. You think a nurse in training Ichigo will be more skeptical of Ku's wild claims than anybody? But, wow, you are sure smart. Ku, you'll have to teach me all about these spirits of yours. She's been suckered in completely lately. Ichigo's too pure-hearted for this world. The spirits. Miyuki, a fellow subscriber to the Church of Logic Reasons, makes a quotation marks with her fingers. Can come later. We're supposed to be studying math and English for now. Real subjects that will be tested on during our entrance exams. They're much more important than Ku's delusions. They're not delusions. Sure, and I don't like cats. Anyway, yes you do. Yes you fucking do. Miyuki readjusts her hair and her fingers while like bone china against her dark skin tresses. If you insist on fetching up us drinks, I suppose I could have a cup of barley tea too. I'm quite partial to it. I'll have a cup of barley tea too. I get to my feet, but I don't mind helping you serve it. Oh, what? Don't be silly. Sit back down. I got this. But I live here too. I'm not a guest, so I should try to help out. It wouldn't be fair if I pawned all the hard work on you. It's fine. It's only a few drinks. I can manage. No biggie. Besides, out of the four of us, I'm the only one who's studying at university. You need to get as much studying as humanely possible during today's session, mister. You might as well make a start on it now, while I play at being a hostage. Oof. I know Ichigo means no ill by it, but that comment of hers spoken oh so cheerfully smart. I'm well aware that I'm not enrolled at a university. She doesn't need to rub it in. Ichigo's right. You need to work. If you don't, you'll be in big trouble. Well, what sort of trouble? Debt, gambling, a small rat-infested apartment, and satisfying personal relationships, and an ill-fated stint on a pig farm. Why a pig farm? Ku shrugs. That is what the spirits say. That you'll start to make shady deals with the Yakuza. Things will go well for a few months until you default on your payment. Then you'll be handling you to sell off one of your livers. But I only have one. Then that's even worse. Ku rests a slender hand upon my shoulder. This is crazy. Yeah, my condolences. Right, thanks for that peek into my future. It was most edifying. Not to mention horrifying. No problem. Ku gives a thumbs up. I'm happy to help. Right, sorry, Chico, but is it okay if you take care of things on your own? I think I need to hit books. That's fine. It's what I such as myself. Have fun, you three, and don't do anything I wouldn't. Ichigo all but skips out of the living room, her blonde twin tails bouncing with each other's step. Since this is a small apartment and the walls are thin, I can hear her humming as she sets about to work in the kitchen. There's a rattle as she opens the fridge and the clatter as she removes the glass from the shelves. La 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 la. Now Ichigo's humming has evolved to actual singing, albeit the kind which has no lyrics other than la. I think I recognize that song. Is it by Hoshizora Shiori? At least Ichigo's enjoying herself during our little study session. As for me, however, I look at the stack of books piled up on the table, then groan. Kill me now. I'm sorry, but I can't. You're not destined to die here. That won't happen later until you're... Am my senses right? You said I was going to die from the heart conditions? That was a month ago. Your future has changed now. Oh, I raise an eyebrow. Enlighten me when I'm supposed to die now. After you're fired from your job at a pig farm and you fall foul of the Yakuza, they'll harvest one of your livers. No, I only have one. You'll die ignobly. You'll be 31. 31! That's not very old. If Ku's right, I've got a little more than a decade left to live. Why did my life's expectancy go down so much? I cannot say. It is a whim of fate. You can change it though. How? Really, I don't want to end up being dissected by a bunch of leering Yakuza. That is so not the future I have planned. Make better choices, work harder, and lots of drink tomato juice. Right. Not for the first time, I have to wonder who is messing with me. Does she genuinely believe all those nonsense she's pouting, or is she having fun at my expense? She looks so serious, it's really hard to tell. Who says a lot of particular things. No kidding. But there's a kernel of useful advice buried among her waffle. You really ought to work hard, Nelia. We came here so we could study, not mess around. Now let us begin. Yes, ma'am. Ku salutes Miyuki, who blushes. You don't have to call me man, it's a bit embarrassing. Teacher, then. I'm in no position to be your teacher. I didn't get into university either, but you're smarter than I am. You would have gotten in no problem if you hadn't been sick. If anyone can help us, you can. You want me to go through some stuff with you? Please. Ku cracks open a hefty book filled with algebra problems and slides it over to Miyuki. I'm in trouble with this. I catch a glimpse of the page and question and frown. I remember going over problems like this in class more than a year ago. It didn't sink in them, and I still didn't get it now. I don't really get that either. Ku smiles. Great mind think alike. I doubt you're thinking at all. These problems aren't that hard. You just need a sturdy foundation to work from. Too bad I threw my foundation away when I joined that gang. I skipping class for a year isn't a great way to shore up your education. Miyuki pursed her lips together. In that case, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I can't believe you'd be so careless as to go stop going to school. That's actually for trouble. I never skipped school. I did not skip a single day and always show up on time. But the spirits refused to leave me alone. They whispered in my ear so I couldn't pay attention. It is quite vexing. Enough talk about spirits. Miyuki pouts. I was in Miss Sakura Nomiya's math class with you for 3 years straight, and I saw how you always fall asleep. Your head always on the desk, more than often than not. And you drool all over your printouts. Guilty as charged. Honestly, you're not as bad as each other. You. Miyuki stabs a finger at me. Neglected your education while you. She stabs a finger at Ku. Came to school every day, but didn't pay a blunted bit of attention. If you wanted to sleep, you might as well have stayed at home in bed. But that would ruin my perfect attendance. Attendance doesn't matter if you can't focus on when it counts. Jeez. Miyuki runs a hand through her dark tresses. Our study session has yet to properly commence, but she has already looked frazzled. Maybe you're right. You two are in dire need of each other teacher. I can't compare her to Miss Sakura Nomiya. I don't have a degree, but I can tell you how this particular formula works. It's not too difficult. You just need to pay attention. Do you think you can do that, Ku? I will make no promises. Ku! But I will do my best. The spirits tell me if I do not, you'll flick me. How very perfected of them. It seems they do say intelligent things from time to time. They always say intelligent things. They're worth listening to. Well, right now, I'm going to be your teacher, and you should be listening to me. Oh, damn. Now pay attention if you want to solve this problem. Ku scoots to Miyuki's right side, while I scoot to her left. Crammed together about 1/4 of the table, look at the textbook in Miyuki's hands. She goes through the problems very carefully and deliberately in a calm voice. Miyuki's surprisingly good at explaining things when she isn't on the cusp of losing her temper. She's only talking algebra, but I could sit here and listen to her for a while. A few minutes have passed like this when, alright everybody, I'm sorry for the delay. Ichigo enters the living room, her arms laden with wooden tray of tops. The tray are 4 glasses of cool barley tea, plate stacked high with chocolate chip cookies. Man, here's your drink, Miyuki. Out of all 3 of these girls, Ichigo got the thickest thighs. Look at, she's like first, Ku's second, and Miyuki is third. Ichigo sets Miyuki drinks down on the table. And this is for you, Ku, and this is yours, Naoya, and this is mine. I also baked a little something for you for today's study session to give you energy. If your spirits feel low, try some of my cookies. They're nothing special, but they'll invigorate you. Who doesn't like sweets? Ichigo sets the plate of cookies down on the center of the table with a flourish. Ta-da! Wow! Miyuki pauses in her explanation of algebraic functions to stare at the plate of cookies. These look incredible. They smell good too. I'm glad you think so. That makes me like super happy. Not as good as baking as I'm cooking. I'm a bit better at making savory dishes, but I hope you enjoy that all the same. I'm sure will. I thank you for your thoughtfulness. Nobody likes studying on an empty stomach. Miyuki takes a cookie from a plate in an elegant motion, then brings it to her lips. She bites into it with a satisfying crunch, then sighs. Is it good? It is very good. Oh. Ku looks at the cookies, her one visible eye wide with a palpable excitement. I want to try too. Naoya. Ku turns to me, her silver eyelash fluttering winsomely. Will you feed me? Wait. Huh? Why me? I can't eat it myself. Why not? My bro Pharaohs. You have hands. Surely you can pick up cookies yourself. It's not that simple. Ku shakes her head. My mind is full of thoughts they need to process. What are you, slow? If I move too much, I'll forget everything Miyuki taught me. Then I'll start to think from square one. Is that really possible? We're talking about Ku here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the case. She's always been such a space case. I can't condone you feeding her though. Naoya, that is a level of intimacy which should be reserved between partners. I don't want to see her lips brush against your fingers, or even worse. Miyuki drops her voice to a soft, indignant whisper. Her tongue. Such behavior is quite inappropriate for study sessions. It will ruin the mood. I won't allow it. Huh? Ku pouts. But I want to try Ichigo's cookies. Then I'll have to feed you instead. That's why Naoya can't take advantage of the situation or your own defenselessness. Wow. Wow. Here, Miyuki picks a cookie off the plate, then proffers it to Ku. Eat it. Ku frowns. I would rather be fed by Naoya. But I suppose I don't mind being fed by you either. Thank you for the food. Ku's soft peach colored lips. She dips her head, then bites into the cookie. She chews on the cookie, her hands folded upon her lap. The whole while, a few crumbs are stuck to her cheek, and a couple of more dot to the low neckline of her shirt. Her eyes are closed as she savors the sweetness of Ichigo's home baking. Her silver lashes matted together. She looks the very cool picture of peace and tranquility. Now I wonder how I should feel about this. I think Ku and Miyuki look cute together. I know, but I wanted to feed Ku, man. It would have been nice if I could feed Ku, but I guess that ship has sailed. Maybe I'll get another opportunity in the future. I can but hope. A few moments passed, punctuated the sound of Ku chewing and faint calling of the seagulls outside. Ku opens her eyes. Then she smiles serenely and says, "That was delicious. Thank you very much, Ichigo. Now we are all partaking of your food. We are all best friends." That is what the spirits are telling me, at least. You are wonderful. You're a wonderful person. She sure is. Our study session continues after that. Unimpeded for several hours. Between the 4 of us, we eat our way through Ichigo's cookies and sip on our glasses for cold barley tea. When we finish our drinks, Ichigo's back on her feet. ever the perfect hostage, eager to replenish our glasses. Miyuki assumes the role of a teacher, leads Ku and I through some complex math problems we were having trouble with. It's a nice, cozy, relaxing kind of environment. I never much care for studying. Does anybody? But this is strangely enjoyable. It must be because of the companies I'm keeping. Cute girls can make almost anything palatable. Even algebra. Ku does her best to pay attention, too, which is rare for her, but after a couple of hours she eventually reaches her limit. She was supposed to be answering a couple of questions Miyuki prepared, but she hasn't made much progress. She's holding a pen, but she hasn't written a single thing. Her eyes, meanwhile, are focused not on the lined paper in front of her, but the far distance. Ku? I wave a hand in front of her eyes. Earth to Ku, are you alright? Ku, as I anticipate, doesn't respond. She doesn't even blink. She's totally out of it. Ku? Ichigo peers at Ku anxiously. Are you okay? You're not feeling sick, are you? Still no response, hey! Ichigo brows a furrow. Is she alright, Mayu? She's being so still and quiet. She looks like she's biscuit a doll. She'll be fine. She's just spacing out. She always does this. Really? Ichigo glances at Ku from the corner of her eyes. But she does not move an inch. It doesn't even look like she's breathing. Should I take her pulse? I am trained to be a nurse. It'd be bad if I let a guest die here while they were staying at my house. I don't want to be a shrug of it off the record. It's fine. I've seen Ku do this myself. It perturbed me the first time, but I'm used to it now. It's common with her. Are you certain? I bet she'll be listening to the music. Look, I gestured to the thin black wires that snake down from Ku's hidden earlobes to the pocket of her high-waisted skirt. She's just got her headphones in. It's just a bit hard to tell because of her hair. Now I see. Ichigo exhales in relief. I'm so glad. I was starting to worry for a second there. Is this strange though? I've never seen anybody space out that hard before. Her eyes are open, but she isn't really looking at anything. She's dead to the world. If I didn't know any better, I think she was communicating with departed spirits or something. She wishes. Miyuki rolls her eyes. This is just Ku being Ku. She's used to this in class. She did this in class a lot. Actually, her eyes were open, so it looked like she was paying attention, but her mind was miles away. She never took anything in. Miyuki tuts. Don't fuss about her more than need to be. She'll come to her senses in a while. For now, maybe the rest of us should take a break too. Yes, that might be a good idea. Since you seem like my cookies so much, I could always whip up another batch. You need sugar if you're going to keep learning. Sugar? Ku, who until this moment was eerily quiet, now returns to her senses. She takes one of the buds out of her ear, blinks like one who's awoken from a long dream. I like that. I can eat a lot more. I see that got your attention. Miyuki pokes Ku in the side. I have to be careful. You ate more cookies than the rest of us combined. If you insist on being greedy, it'll have repercussions. No, it won't. How do you know that? It's just simple science. If more calories can go out, you'll gain weight. Maybe that applies to normal people, but not to me. You should know that I never gain weight, Miyuki. All the sweets I eat go straight to my chest. That's a good. Oh yes. Oh boy. She make that face. You're the one who has to watch your figure. Yeah. Miyuki grits her teeth together. Her face, quietly predictable, turns red. Ku, you ought to watch your mouth. What? Why? Ku goes momentarily cross-eyed as she tries to look at her own mouth as per Miyuki's instructions. It hasn't gone anywhere. I'm still in one piece. You might be now, but you won't be for much longer if you keep talking about taboo topics. But I didn't talk about decomposition even a little bit today, or horror movies, or taxidermy, or the zodiac. Enough! Miyuki slaps a hand across Kyu's mouth. Even an airhead like you should know what I'm talking about. It's impolite to bring up how much a girl weighs. Ichigo watches this lively exchange, smiling as she does so. Ku and Miyuki are awfully close, aren't they? They're such good friends. Yeah, they are great friends. They certainly seem to get on, but I do wonder, is it normal for friends to bicker quite as this much? Alright, I think that's just about does it. Miyuki sets her pen down, the sighs, and stretches her chest shift as she raises her arms above her head, and I do my best not to look. That wouldn't be very gentlemanly. We've been at this for hours, and I'm starting to get tired. Pushing ourselves too much would, in all likelihood, be a bad idea, and Miyuki glanced at Ku. I think Ku drifted off a long time ago. Ku is sitting at the table obstinately looking at an English textbook, but she hasn't flipped the pages in at least half an hour. Is she listening to music again? Hey Ku, are you with us, Ku? I wave a hand in front of her face, but receive no response. She doesn't even blink. Earth to Ku. I try again, but Ku's response, or lack of, remains the same. She's so still and silent, it's almost eerie. If it weren't for the subtle rises and fall of her chest, I almost think she'd been shot and stuffed. Jeez, I knew it. Miki sighs. Ku's always like this. She always like this, studious sort, because she's so quiet, but she actually has the attention span of a water flea that's being offensive to water fleas. I don't have much of an attention span myself. I'm not very smart, and my brain gets tired out easy. Me and Ku must have a lot of in common. I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but at the very least, I don't think you're a bad person. Your cookies were quite delicious. Yay! Ichiko beams and flashes a peace sign. I don't know if we all get that much study done, but today's been a huge victory for my baking. I feel like I'm on top of the world. If we're going to end things here, though, I should probably clean up all the stuff on the table. Ichigo eyes our empty glasses, which were once filled with cool barley tea and the crumb-flecked plate devoid of cookies. I'll get to work. Ichigo reaches for the plate, but Miyuki takes it before she can. That's fine. You made the cookies for us, Ichigo. And you poured all the tea. You've taken good care of Ku, and since we got here, so we should help with the cleaning up. It's the least we can do to thank you. Isn't that right, Ku? Ku aspected does not reply. She's still staring into the distance, lips pursed, her eyes full of fog. Miyuki sighs. Oh, for goodness sake, I said. She reaches out her hair, dark hair, fluttering, and yanks one of Ku's earbuds. Deaf motion. We should clean up to thank Ichigo for her hospitality. Don't you agree with me? What? Oh. Ku blinks, her silver hair eyelashes trembling. Her brow creases and ripples of confusion passes over her pretty face. But this lasts only a few brief moments. She assesses the situation, understanding dawns, then she nods curtly. That's right, your cookies were nice, Ichigo. Good job. Ku offers Ichigo a thumbs up, which makes Ichigo beam in delight. You're both so nice to me. Not at all, you deserve our compliments. My mother always taught me good deeds to be rewarded, and so I'm going to help you with chores, and it would be unfair otherwise, especially after you were gracious enough to let Ku and I into your home. Do you not agree, Ku? It's fine, I don't mind cleaning. There, it's all sorted. Now you sit back down, Ichigo. Ku and I will handle everything. I don't want to be in your debt. It's no bother, really. Ichigo really tries to argue, but Miyuki doesn't listen. She gets to her feet, holding the empty plate of cookies in one hand in the glass, and the other while Ku swipes up the 3 remaining glasses. We won't be long. I don't mean to boast, but I'm quite good at housework. I'll get these clean in under 5 minutes, and I'll watch from the sidelines and offer words of encouragement. Oh, no you don't, Miyuki scowls. I'm not letting you worm your way out of this. You're helping me too. Of course I am, if by help you mean stand there listening to whale music. That isn't helping. That's the precise opposite of helping. And why whale music? Why not? It's relaxing. Ku tilts her head askance, her stubby ponytail shifting. Would you prefer if I listened to chanting Tibetan monks? No, I wouldn't. That makes no difference. Why would you listen to such weird stuff anyway? It's hardly if it counts as music. Your definition of music is too narrow. Ku sighs. Oh yeah, I know Ku's the best. You wouldn't understand. Your brain is so smooth. Whenever it's any song, Ku will love it. Even if it's a weird song. Hey, that's what's that supposed to mean? If you don't know yourself, I cannot help you. I like you, Miki, but insight is something you have to be born with. You do not have it. You're too normal? I was going to say mundane, but that works too. Honestly, Miki rolls her eyes. You're such a headache. Personally, I think Ku might be more of a head case than headache, but she's a nice enough girl, and I know doesn't mean any ill by all strange stuffs her spouts. That's just part of her personality. Enough of all this silly chatter. Let's get this mess taken care of before we leave. Or is it will never get done? Miki leaves the living room, Ku trailing along aimlessly behind her. Now it's just Ichiko and I. This is how things usually are. We've returned to the situation Kuo. I feel relaxed by this familiar, and yet it feels kind of quite quiet without them. I guess I got used to Yuki's perpetual pout and Ku's unapologetic oddness. Close my English textbook, and I'm sick and tired of looking at and buts and press a hand to my mouth. In a newfound quietude, she sleeps creep up on me like a shadow. I feel exhausted. I guess I pushed myself pretty hard during our study session. Are you alright, Naria? Ichigo smiles at me fondly. You look like you're ready to doze off. I feel like I'm going to doze off. I'm totally beat. And that is the end of today's episode, everyone. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.